Pub Table Racers edition number we don't even know anymore.
A lot.
Hope you're having a great week. Hope you had a great weekend. My name is Tim Packman. Sitting next to me is the one, the only, my friend of 24 years now,
Warren Brozell.
Soon to have a birthday. When?
Sunday.
You're gonna be how old?
56.
We'll be the same age for a month and a half. So anyhow, we'll be by the pool on Sunday, I guess. He doesn't know it, but we're coming over. Tonight's show, we have a very special guest, Infield Jen Calendrillo. We're going to tell her story, how she came from Brooklyn as a fan in the stands and said, I want to be down there one day. And now she's worked her way into the NASCAR world, and she is an integral part of the garage area. And we'll talk to her about her story and take your questions. And she's got something to reveal that she's been working on, that if she does it, she would be the first woman in NASCAR history to do it. So,
aren't you thirsty, by the way?
I am going to be thirsty in a minute. That's just the beginning. I just came flying. Okay, Warren.
Yes.
Why do we have a bucket of beer?
We have a bucket of beer in front of us because we like to sit around, drink beer, talk to our guests about racing, and enjoy Tuesday nights.
But why do we have Miller High Life?
We have Miller High Life because it's champagne of beers, Bobby Allison's choice of beers.
That's all we need right there.
Our hero, so we drink it
That's
also.
it. Okay. So we'll bring Jen on a little bit. Let's go. Want to recap the races?
Recap the races.
All right. Truck race Friday night. Sheldon Creed, first winner in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So he punches his ticket to the next round. Stuart Frieza, my fave. He finished fourth, so it's good for him. I saw zero of the race, just saying.
I didn't either. I forgot it was even on, to be honest with you. I came home, I was really tired.
Aren't we great inside NASCAR?
And I was like, I woke up Saturday morning and I was like, oh, I missed the truck race. So I watched. There was a heck of a wreck.
Okay, so you did see.
I'd seen the replay of the wreck, yeah, and that was about it.
I was at a Queen tribute concert on Friday night, so I didn't get to see it. Did you see any of the Xfinity race?
I did.
Good, because I didn't.
I did.
I was chunky dunking in the pool.
I was in and out of the pool,
okay.
But I did have it on.
Right.
And I had it on outside, and I had the sound on, and Cindric gets wrecked.
Yeah.
And I put music on after that, but I left the race on the TV, and I watched the highlights and watched the end. And
that's a homer when your guy's out.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed out about it, and
okay.
Happy for Almendinger and all those guys up there, colleague, a lot of good friends up there.
They're rolling.
So yeah, I'm happy for them guys.
Okay.
They are definitely rolling.
Got it. So that's that, and Cup race. Congratulations to you.
Cup race. I watched every lap.
Of course you did.
While I made
Ryan Blaney,
a beer can chicken that for some reason ended up dry, and
what? You screwed up cooking?
I did, and I told my wife, I says, I'm never doing a beer can chicken again. I'm going to stick with my rotisserie. My Weber's got a rotisserie. I do it on there, and the chickens are 10 times better. So no more beer can chicken.
Okay, good. We got that covered. Thank God.
Okay, so yeah, I did see the every lap of the race.
All right. Before we get into that, Jody Barron was supposed to be our guest tonight. His wife had surgery yesterday, and he needed to be with her, and we totally understand. So we wish you both well, and hope she's recovering and all went good. Carol Hines asked, did I bring the wine? No. If you don't drink our beer on this show, you bring your own stuff.
BYO.
BYO. You know, that's it. You don't want it? Hey, Steph. I go to the back of the field because I was late for commentator introductions. Wally Bacardi and Coke. Good.
All right.
I like that. She's much better. So
you drive right to the front.
That's
with
true.
Big horsepower.
Big mouth. Right there. All right, Cup race. Well, I thought it was pretty interesting.
I thought it was all right.
Okay. Had some moments.
Some moments.
You want to talk about it?
Go ahead. You can start. I'll help.
At the end of the second stage, I'm going to get right to it. At the end of the second stage, Austin Dillon gets ahead of Brad Kozlowski and beats him for the win, or the position. And then afterwards, contact was made. Now, the debate was, did he come up? Did he come down? Was he mad because he took the spot? All I know is what happened was, next thing you know, Austin Dillon's in the fence, airborne, car's junk, he's ruined. He had a great run going, top 5, and I guess there was apologies made over the radio, which is nice, but I don't know, something just...
So I've seen it a little different.
Of course you did,
but,
Penske guy.
You know, I seen it as they both crossed the start-finish line.
Yeah.
and it happened like right after that,
Mhm.
like immediately after
Yeah.
that. They were racing for that spot.
Sure.
I wasn't in either one of the cars. I'm not gonna take sides.
Okay.
I may or may not have gotten a call from my young friend Austin Dillon.
And what did he say?
Well, I need to put this nicely. He said I probably shouldn't spend too much time on Brad's car.
You, yeah.
Yeah, like, don't work on it too much this week.
Because he's going to get you back.
We'll see.
We'll see. A lot of it's maybe.
You know, I heard Richard went on the box.
Really?
And you know,
Did he tell someone hold my watch?
well, he started with Bullens and
Yeah.
some of that. And
Bullens, who used to work.
yes,
used to work for.
yes, Jeremy
Yeah.
worked for
Yeah.
RCR.
He went on the box.
You know,
okay.
we'll see.
Okay.
I love these rivalry. I think this is the best thing for the sport
Sure.
that can happen. What if anything comes of it? I'm going to say I doubt it.
Well, where they go now? Oh, Daytona.
Yeah.
Not
Everybody's
not,
gonna
not,
wreck.
not the place to be doing paybacks.
Well,
Daytona.
think about what you got
No.
going on too.
Sure. If there's one race left.
There's one race
Okay.
left. There's
So-
about 15 guys that want that last spot that are eligible for it.
So we've been
There's
friends
going to
for
be about
20.
14 guys that are
We've-
going to be on
we've
fire
been-
and upside down.
We've been friends for over 2 decades.
Yeah.
We've worked together a couple times, won races. On this one, I guess we're going to agree to disagree a little bit.
Mhm.
I saw it differently, which is fine, and that's just the way it goes. We'll see, but I know Daytona's not the place. Let's talk about the playoffs. There's one position left, right?
One position left. Yeah.
So-
Harvick is in.
Harvick's in. Who's your dark horse to take it? We did this last week. Huh? What? Go ahead. What?
I don't.
What? You want to guess?
Stenhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with the Benedetto.
Okay.
I think the Cinderella story comes
I
out
think
there.
you're going to have to be.
What?
You're going to have to be mean. You're going to.
Oh, sure.
You're going to go into this race. You're going to have to be. It's going to get ugly.
But the secret is Daytona. You have to be there at the end. You do
Absolutely.
You do no good leading lap 5 or lap 20
No.
or whatever.
No.
You have that last
I
lap.
will be very, very surprised if any of those guys. I don't think a dark horse makes it. I think someone rides around in the back, like Denny,
Mhm.
you know, and wins it at the end because everybody else has crashed trying to get to the
So,
lead.
but Denny's in, isn't he?
He's in, but
He's in. Harvick's in.
I'm just saying.
Okay, yeah.
I think everybody else is wrecked.
Because they're eager to get that last spot.
Everybody's wanting that last position,
That last lap.
and nothing else matters.
Okay.
10th don't matter, right?
No, doesn't matter. If you got to get
So
in, you got to get in.
You're gonna wreck.
After that, then it's 10 races after that to determine championships. Okay, it'll be interesting.
Mhm.
Before we bring our guest up, news: Emmett Smith and Jesse Luigi have formed an Xfinity Series team.
Yep.
Another pro athlete, former Hall of Famer, even though he played for the Cowboys and beat my Bills twice in the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna bring it up, but if he wants to be a team owner, that's great.
Right. It's
We'll
awesome.
see. That's about all the news I got. What else? Oh, Eric Jones returning back to Richard Petty Motorsports, which you can't just get rid of him after a year, can you?
No, why would you?
All right, we have some sponsors, I think.
We do.
Who's behind you?
We have useracing.junk.com.
That's right. Buy, sell, trade.
Buy, sell, trade.
What's it? World's #1 racing and performance classified. If you want it, they got it. It involves racing, buildings, shops,
Yep.
cars.
Just go browse at their
Go
stuff.
browse.
I went and browsed a
Yeah,
little
there's
bit.
a lot. There's everything there, isn't there? A lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I'd like to thank Garage Shop
Garage
for their
shop.
support. I just came from an interview real quick. I sat down with Junior Setzer today in Shelby, and we did an interview with him. He is the nephew of Bobby Isaac, and he had pictures and trophies and stories, and it was incredible just to sit and talk with him. And he brought out a very special pair of gloves, which I can't really talk about, but we're going to have on sometime, not here, on the Garage Shop, the YouTube there. And also we want to thank our new number one sponsor, Rapid Removal, Darren Russell.
Rapid Removal.
He said he's so busy, but he has room for more, so find him on Facebook.
Yeah.
He's forming his Facebook pages, he's forming his website, doesn't have it ready yet, so otherwise we give you all the information. But go check him out, and 20-yard containers. He will take care of you all day long, helping you, what do you call it? Remodeling.
And removal, junk,
relatives you don't want
rubbish,
visiting anymore.
whatever. Yeah.
Load them up.
Your mother-in-law hoarder,
Get
you can take care
Good
of
at
that.
her, yeah. Okay.
I told him we'd get a decal for the computer.
Yeah, we're gonna get decal. He told me about that. Jody says, by the way, I know you can make a great beer can chicken. It's only dry because you drink all the beer first. Just saying. I think
No,
Jody
I
knows
left
it.
it full.
What?
I don't.
Okay, that's
It's
fine.
all.
All right. So there's our sponsors. Here we go. And that's our news and what we got. So we don't need that anymore.
Nope.
It's time for our guest. Here she comes, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Brooklyn, New York. She doesn't live there now, but that's where she started. She is Infield Jen Calendrillo. She has been on multiple teams. She's been on crews. She's done pit stops. She's run gas. And she has something else coming up. We're going to hear her story. How she one day looked inside the infield of a race and said, I want to be down there someday. And here's how she did it.
Yep.
She took a dream and turned it to reality. Come on down, Jen.
Another lady in
All right.
NASCAR.
That's it. And yeah, it was ladies' night.
She's tall. I don't know. I gave her a little bit of a boost.
Why?
here.
She's going to really tell
I
you.
know.
There
Well,
you go.
see,
That's not
that's
too bad.
perfect.
There you
There
go.
you
First of all, thanks for coming on.
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers.
And she brought
And I brought my own wine.
she brought her own wine. So that's good. Thanks for being on, and thanks for jumping in last minute. Scoot up there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're there. Okay, good.
All right.
All right. First of all, where are you from originally?
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
Bensonhurst.
And how did you get interested in the world of racing?
So I had an ex-boyfriend, or boyfriend at the time,
Right.
that was in it, and he was really into it. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna hang out with this guy, then I guess I gotta learn this stuff. So
Yeah.
I did, and then I kind of got into it way more than he did.
Really?
So,
yeah.
so you liked it? You enjoyed it?
Loved it.
Because
But
a
you
lot
quit.
of, you know,
But you quit liking him.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Racing will do that.
happens too.
He's still up in New York. I'm not.
Right. You
Anyway,
actually made it.
Yeah.
he's still buying tickets. Yeah, go ahead.
2004, I went to my first race at Pocono, sat in the grandstands, and I was like looking in, crossing the infield, like, what goes on in there? I wanna do that.
Right.
And that kind of became the passion ever since. And 2006, I got on the committee in Staten Island to bring the track. They were going to build the track in Staten Island. That
Yeah,
was a big
oh,
thing.
that's
yeah, remember
right.
that?
So I was living out in Staten
Another
Island
one,
at the
yes.
time.
Yeah.
And I got on the committee to do that. It was called Cinch, Staten Island NASCAR Hopefuls. And we held fundraisers and benefits and all that stuff to educate the public about, having a track on Staten Island, what it would do for the community and stuff. And kind of came down to an election year, but they voted it off.
Oh.
Somebody
and-
pocketed that money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was like,
Staten
well-
Island? No.
I was like, well, if it's not coming here, I'm going to it. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to move to North Carolina. So
What year was that?
that was in 2000. Well, I moved in 2010, but it took me like a good 5 years to be able to
To
get up the
break
guts
in.
and do it,
But in the meantime, you started.
In the meantime,
you started something which to this day I give you credit for because
I wanted to get a job at this point, and every time I met somebody, they said, well, you got to become a familiar face. Well, how am I going to do that living in New York? So my thing was to just take pictures with someone, pictures with all the drivers. And then when I met them again, I made them sign it, and then I had a small picture with a resume,
Right.
and I handed it out.
Nice.
And I did that for years.
Okay.
And
so you
so I was
used the
like,
driver. No, that's good.
yeah, and so it worked, because I met Joe Nemechek at Pocono, and the next weekend I was in Dover, because it was kind of back to back.
Right.
And then Joe walked up to me and says, hey, aren't you the girl that gave me a resume last week? I was like, oh, yeah, that was me. Are you hiring this week?
In typical Brooklyn fashion,
Yeah.
are you hiring this week?
Because I'll move tomorrow,
Right.
And he says, no. I said, well, you remembered me. I said, my
Right. It's
thing
working.
is working.
Exactly.
I said, so when you are hiring, remember me then,
Yep.
And he said, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. And it just kind of gave me a reason to talk to a lot of people, and that's what
Yeah.
I did. And started to get to be, knowing that I knew that I wanted a job. And so I was able to finally move down April 2nd, 2010.
Not that you remember the date.
Oh, that was like the day. I couldn't wait to
April
get
6th,
out of there.
Okay, got it.
And moved down, and I didn't really have a job in racing, but I was here, and I could start really going to the shops and handing out resumes and whatnot.
Right.
Real quick,
And
back up. What were you doing back in Brooklyn?
I was an assistant manager at a bank.
At a bank.
At a bank. So
Okay.
big life change.
I just wanted you to bring it up because, yeah, you go from assistant manager of a bank, which is a steady
To
95,
Yeah.
holidays off,
Right.
yeah,
benefits,
all benefits.
to-
Yeah,
All kinds of money laying
All
all
around.
kinds of money.
Yeah.
Good.
Go to race team, they're in a penny.
yeah.
But so you did, and you had this determination.
Yeah, I
And you're
said,
like, this is what I want to do.
I gotta do it. If I don't do it, I'll live with a regret, and
Got
I can't live like that. So I packed up me, my dog, and all my stuff, and
Right.
we moved.
But did you have a place down here?
Yeah, I came down. I got
Okay.
Actually, I told my boss at the time. I was sitting at the bank, and I was like, I can't do this no more. I gotta go.
Well, they can
And-
make
just
withdrawal.
like that.
Me, outta here.
yeah, exactly. I did. And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, I'm going to North Carolina.
I'm going
She's
racing.
like, when are you going? I was like, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow. I said, I need you to watch my dog. I said, I'm not coming back till I can give you my 2 weeks notice.
Right.
And go. She's like, okay. And the next morning I was in my car headed down and I did it.
You had a place to stay.
I came down, got
Right.
got the apartment in Huntersville, and I put my resume on different jobs and different banks
Sure.
down here, and I wound up getting a job down here at a bank and got the apartment. I went back up. I said, here's my 2 weeks notice, give me my dog. I'm out. And then we moved.
Monica
So-
Rogers follows. She says, "Crafty woman, you go, girl." There you go. Girl power. There you go. Darnell says hi.
Hey, Darnell.
This time she said something nice before you didn't, Darnell. You hurt our feelings when you called us. I'm gonna have to have another beer to get over it. Thank you. Yeah.
I didn't see it yet, so you didn't hurt mine.
Just have another beer.
Plus, I'm pretty good at it.
All right, so you
I
come
moved.
down and you don't have a job
Not
or in
really, no.
racing, but you took a job at a bank.
Right.
And the whole time you're at the bank, you're
I'm networking. I'm going
Sure.
out every night of the week like I got paid for it. Like I literally had a list on my fridge of what bars to go to. Monday I went here, Tuesday here.
Because
you know,
people are
every
there.
night of the week.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
You
now.
know,
Wait,
so
was Vinny's on your Wednesday night list?
Vinny's was one. I think Vinny's was Thursday.
What
maybe?
year was
Wednesday.
that?
Wednesday or Thursday.
We might have been done with
2010.
Vinny's
Done.
already.
Vinny's might have been Vinny
Yeah.
by then. Okay.
No, it was Vinny's. I
Dollar
remember
Beer
going
Night
there
must
with
be okay.
We
Vinny.
might
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
already been.
Okay.
Yeah, but Vinny's was on the list. I remember that place. That place is fun.
Never Rockin' and Racing. You probably missed those days, right? It was already closed, I'll bet you.
Which one?
Rockin' and
Rockin'
Racing.
and
I didn't
Racing.
go to that one.
That was
Yeah, I think
closed.
that's so. Shannon Lee
Really old.
Hodling, former guest. She says, "Jen looking hot tonight. Get her some wine." Shannon, she has some wine.
She bring
She
it on.
BYO'd and which is good. All right, so you're down here now, and you're
Yeah.
and this is the part I love about your story. Your determination is like we've had a lot of people sit there and talk about couches and this and that and their determination, you're a female from Brooklyn, New York, who wanted to get involved,
Right.
and there was nothing to stop.
And you came down
No, I don't
alone,
like the
right?
word no.
You know,
No.
you came down.
Did you
alone.
know anybody? Did you really
I-
know anybody?
Not particularly. I mean, I knew a few people,
Right.
you know, and I did have some friends, but most of them went away on the weekends. So
Sure. Oh, no,
They're
well,
kinda-
right.
yeah, you were one of them at the time
Yeah,
too, you
sorry,
know.
that- remember?
So
Those good old days.
yeah, so I would just, I'd be on social media and all that stuff, but I was down here maybe like a month and a half, and this guy that I knew that was in marketing was like, "Hey, you're marketable." I was like, "Hey, you're nuts," because I never did nothing like that, No, I never did anything
Right,
like that.
okay.
And he's like, "I'm telling you, you're marketable." I was like, "And I'm telling you, you're crazy." So I didn't hear from him for a couple days, and all of a sudden I just get like a bunch of friend requests, and I was like, "Who are all these people?" So I'm deleting them left and right, delete. I didn't know them.
Stalkers, right?
Stalkers,
No, well,
No,
I
you didn't know what they were.
Sure.
I didn't know who they were. So he finally, a couple of days go by, and he messages me. He's like, "What do you think of Facebook?" I was like, "It's going crazy." I said, I don't know what the hell is going on, And he's like, "Oh, those are your fans." I was like, "Knock it off." I was like, "You're crazy."
Yeah.
So with him on the phone, he sends me a text message and a message on Facebook. It says, "Click this link." So I click the link, and this Facebook page comes up, and it's called Jen Miss Nascar, and I'm like, and it was me with all the pictures of everybody
Okay,
that
so
was
he
taking.
created
All your
a-
drivers.
Yeah, so he
yeah.
made this page without me knowing, and I was like, what
okay.
the heck? What is this? He's
All right.
like, go with it. You got nothing to lose. He's like, these are your fans. He's like, you had 150 people like your page overnight. And, blah,
Wow.
and I was like, what? So I was like, well, all right. So I just started talking to people on that
Right.
page about racing. And it kind of blew up.
Kind of.
Well,
Kind of. No,
then,
you became an entity.
yeah, it
Go
was
ahead.
crazy though.
No,
I wasn't
okay.
expecting it. I wasn't didn't set out to do it, but
Okay, right.
it happened. The big thing was I was going to a race at like the end of August, early September, and this lady asked me to get a picture of Kurt Busch by his car
Right.
for her. So it wasn't like I was going out of my way,
Sure, you were
I
already there.
I was there.
And he was going to stand by the car.
Right, and he was. So
Stand
I
by
just
the
was
car.
like, "Hey, Kurt," he smiled and
So
I
at
took
this
the
time
picture.
you're getting garage passes and
Right,
you're
right.
in. You got an in somehow, right?
Right, and plus I still had my connections from Staten Island. So anytime
Okay.
we wanted to
Oh,
race, we would
she's
pull
a
up.
perfect.
And they would give
Very.
us passes, and then I had friends and
Yep.
stuff that would help
Sure.
me get in and
Yep.
things like that. So it worked out. But yeah, I took that picture and I posted it, and it just went insane because it's like, hey, everyone's like, if you could do that for her, well, hey, can you get a picture of this guy, this one for me, and can you ask so and so this, and can you ask this crew member that? So that gave me a reason to go to the track with a list now of all these questions and picture
Right.
requests,
Sure.
and I started doing all that. And it went crazy, and I didn't know what to do with it because it wasn't like I was making money doing it.
But you were
Right.
building something.
But I was, and I didn't know what.
Building a fan base,
know?
right?
Following, yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
and it was really cool. So I was like, okay. I spoke to, a bunch of people in Nascar, Carrie Thorpe, and everybody in the garage, Ron
Communications,
Merritt, hey, what can I do with this? Like, can you hire me? Can we do something with this? Because I really have no idea what to do. I'm just doing what people want me to do at the track,
And what
They
were
got
what
this
was
cute
their
little
answers?
cartoon logo and all this
What
stuff.
were their
now.
answers?
They're like, well, we really like what you're doing, but, just... honestly, they really didn't know what to do with me because nobody else did what I
Sure.
did the way I did it. So
Yeah.
it was kind of met with like, that's really cool, but we don't know how to.
So you
we
kind of
don't
like
have-
Smokey Unit them.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
There's a good reference. Just made
So
that up. Write that
it
down.
was
Yeah.
it was weird, I was like, look, I'm not making any money. I said, but if I make $1, I'll give you 50 cents. I told them,
they're good.
I
Well,
told
Nascar's
them
good,
that.
yeah.
So, and they're like, all right, well, we'll just keep in touch and let us know how it goes. I'm like, all right, and that's what I did. And it still really wasn't getting anywhere, and nobody was really hiring, but everything was still going. And then 2 weeks before the Daytona 500 in 2011, it's like 10:30 at night on a Sunday, and I literally on that Friday contacted NASA. I was like, hey, what do I got to do to be considered a citizen journalist? Because
Right,
that
because
was
there
the new
there was a
program
big
that
thing
was
going
in.
on there, right?
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And they're like,
Which-
oh, you had to have a website, you have to have this. Well, I didn't have any of that at the time, so I didn't meet that
You
criteria.
did by the morning, I bet.
But no, I didn't
Oh,
have any
okay,
of that
yeah,
stuff. So
right.
I was like, but I got like all these people that really want to meet me, and I really want to go to Daytona because I'd never been there. Every time I've ever tried to go to Daytona, like
Yeah.
something tragic happened. Like my uncle passed away one year, mom had a massive heart attack the next. I mean, like every time I was like, so I told them. Well, I'll get to that, but I was like, I am gonna make it to Daytona, come hell or high water. I'm gonna make it there, but I didn't know when or how. And so this was the big dilemma. So I'm literally sitting there. It's Sunday, 10:30 at night, and I'm like, in front of my computer. What am I gonna do? And Brian Kieslowski pops up in a Facebook chat because we were
Brand's
friends,
brother,
right?
Yeah.
And he pops up in a Facebook chat, and he's like, hey, where you at with everything? And I'll never forget this conversation for as long as I lived. I remember at work where we're like, ba-ding, ba-ding, even the noise that it made when,
Yeah.
you sent the
Sure.
message.
Sure.
So he says to me, he's like, where are you at with everything? I was like, well, funny you should ask. I says, I need to be able to get a license and travel. And I was knowing I'm going to be able to do that. And he's like, well, I might be able to help you out. And I was like, don't play with me. That's not funny. What are you talking about? And he literally said, he goes, I'm only doing Cup Series next year. I need a PR person. Everyone seems to know who you are. I think I need your help. And
He
I
was a
like,
driver owner.
Yeah, yeah.
So he was a driver owner.
He was a driver owner
Got it.
going into the Cup Series.
Got it.
Okay.
And I was like, I froze. I was like, I read it about 10 times. I was like, again, don't play with me. That's not funny. Are you serious? Is this really you?
Is this
Is
really?
this really you? Because
Right.
nobody gets a job on Facebook Messenger.
Ah, you'd be
So
surprised by
I
that, yeah,
guess. I don't
yeah.
know. I didn't think that's how that went. But he's like, yeah, come to the shop on Tuesday. I'm like, Tuesday? It's Sunday night. I gotta wait 2 whole days? Oh, Jesus
You
Christ.
waited 4
I
years.
was
Let's
like,
do
I know.
this. Yeah.
But I mean, I was like a nervous wreck. I was like, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna walk in. He's not gonna know. This isn't right. This isn't right. So anyway, so Tuesday finally comes. I go to the shop and I open the door and he's there. I was like, hey. I was like, you knew I was coming here? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh god. Okay.
That's a good start, right?
This is real.
It wasn't fake.
You know?
That's real, yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So we're going, and if anybody knows Brian, he's pretty laid back and pretty
Yeah,
easy to
very
talk to.
mellow.
So we started talking. He's like, yep, okay. And I was like, okay, what? Okay, I got the job. He's like, yep. I was like, so I pinched his arm. I was like, do you feel that? He's
Yeah.
like, yeah. I was like, you don't know what I've been through. I said, I have waited for this day for a long time.
Perfect.
And, so my very first day really on the job was the day he made the Daytona 500. And
So he raced his way in.
he raced his way in,
With
yeah,
the help of
with
his
Brad.
brother, yeah.
pushed him
Well,
in.
Of course,
And
why wouldn't he? Yeah.
I was sitting on top of the pit box and I didn't know how to get
He didn't
down.
hook him after the first. It's like,
Has to start finish line or anything?
No.
Okay, so I guess
Imagine that.
I guess that habit started later. Go ahead.
So yeah, he makes the 500. I'm sitting on the pit box with it next to his uncle and his
he's
dad.
like a
and,
bad
I mean,
guy after all, is he?
One time. All right.
It was a really
We're
good
just
day.
kidding. We're just crap talking. Go ahead.
It was a really good day. So.
So, but when you were done, I mean, so he makes the
Makes the 500.
500. It's
Right.
a great story,
Yeah.
and I'm leading you here, but you didn't.
I didn't know what to do.
Right.
Right. I that was my first day. So I remember Christy King was in charge of the.
Christy's awesome.
Yeah.
NASCAR,
Public relations
communications.
over that way. Yeah.
She's an
Communications.
amazing person.
So she comes over to me and she goes, okay, you got to go to the media center. And I'm like, I don't know where it is. I was like, Brian, we got to go to the media center. But
He's
so
like,
she
where is
was
it?
he was crying. I was crying.
Yeah.
We were a mess, right? But it was like a perfect mess, and we're still a perfect mess.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But so she's like, okay, follow me. So I follow her. I follow her. We go into the media center. He's sitting down by the podium, getting ready to go up there, and I noticed his glasses are all messed up, and I was like, give me your glasses. And I take his glasses, and I'm like cleaning them on my shirt.
Sure.
I didn't have nothing else.
Yeah.
And all the reporters watching me do this, and I didn't like really know who was who and all that.
Sure,
I knew them by
right.
a little bit,
Yeah.
but not. So they're kind of like, what is she doing? So anyway, I clean his glasses, like, go, you're good. Well, after that interview with him, they did good, and he did very well and all that. And, Bob Hawkins kind of came over, and Jeff Gluck and Kerry Gilbert, is that his name? Gilbert.
Yeah.
He was there at the time. And they kind of just, welcomed me basically with open arms,
They wanted you to.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the deal, and you know this. It's
I
like
never did
once
that
you
job.
work into something, well, it applies in your side too. Once you work your way into something, and people go, okay, well, this person's arrived, then you want to help them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if someone gets hired as a fabricator by you, or okay, never mind.
I help us select few.
Okay, so you're a jerk. Anyhow.
Bob Hawkins gave me great points on how to write a press release and stuff, and I still use that format that
you
he
should,
gave me to this day
Bob
because it's short,
knows.
sweet, to the point. He made it real clear. He's like, I don't need to know what it was he won in the third grade. He's like, I just need a quote, this, that.
Just tell me what time it is.
Right,
Don't tell me the watch was made.
He's like, I'll take maybe one line and I'll write my own story. And it's like, all right, cool.
So that was you. You went from fan of the stands
to
team member.
Yeah.
Where did the Infield Jen start?
So that started back in May, right? And then now that I'm working with Brian, now I got to get to show the fans I'm still Infield Jen, right? Because now it's
why not?
Why would you? Well, I was still Jen Miss Nascar at that point.
Okay, got it.
And I was petitioning Facebook to let me change the name because I knew that was probably going to be a problem at some point. But I didn't create that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sure.
But
Someone
Facebook
started
at the
Because
time
you didn't want to use that.
Right.
Yeah.
Facebook at the time wouldn't let you change the name of a fan page, but I had a lot of people on there, so I was like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
I wasn't making any money on
Sure.
it, so I didn't. I don't know.
Right.
And I didn't know who to
It was
talk
only
to in the
costing you
offices
time.
either. Right.
It's costing you time.
But you knew eventually NASCAR was going to say, "Hey, wait a minute."
You're getting too big.
Right. And
Well,
that's our stuff.
And that's why I always went to Kerry and people
Sure.
that I did know that came to the track,
Right.
And I said, what do I do? How do I fix this? And they're like, oh, it's okay, everything's good. I'm like, all right. But I didn't know anybody in the offices.
Oh yeah,
The
back
people
in corporate.
I didn't know any
The people
of them.
that
They
didn't
didn't know
travel
me.
but run the sport.
Yeah, they didn't know who I was either. They didn't know that.
Yeah.
They weren't paying attention.
So the whole year I'm going, okay, fine, 2011, we're plugging along. This is what we do with the shop. This is, this is how it differs from the big teams and things like that. Well, 2011 season ends. A couple days later, I'm driving to get a phone call from NASCAR Legal, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Oh, you want to hire me?
Hold on. I literally pulled over on the side of the road.
Right.
Like, hang on, yeah. Well, I was having this conference call with the whole legal department that I didn't know I was about to have this conference call.
Beautiful.
They just called me.
You think you're getting hired?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know what it was. I was
You
like,
need a reporter? I'm in.
finally some direction.
No, ma'am.
yes.
There's a trainload of lawyers going to be knocking on your
Yeah,
door.
and they were like, well, apparently what I was told was at the end of the season, they had, a bunch of fans called corporate and was like, hey, why don't you hire Infield Jen? And I was like, they told me about it. I was like, yeah, we called today and we told them that they should hire you. I was like, what?
No, don't
I was
do that.
And then apparently, I don't know who, but they said a couple of sponsors were talking about it. And then, so Natural Legal's like, well, who the hell's Infield Jen? And I'm like,
Now they know who the chick from Brooklyn is, right?
So they find a way, and then I guess they got my number or whatever, and I had this. I'm like, oh, this is so cool, and they're like, first they're like, what happened? So I told them the story, and thankfully, by the time I was done telling them exactly what happened, they're like, wow, they're like, wow, we really like what you do, but you have to do it this way. I was like, finally, some structure.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I've been waiting for a call. I just didn't know who was gonna help me.
Sure.
And so I actually wound up having to take down the pages and just restart them, but to start them as Infield Jen, because like I said, Facebook didn't let you change the name of a fan page or anything like that. So.
Real quick, I'll read some things.
She's
Yeah, I know.
fast.
I talk fast.
That's okay.
I just bought 3 houses and two clocks from her while she's auctioning up. Anyhow, real quick.
I hope everybody hears the difference between Brooklyn and Wisconsin because
Buffalo.
Well,
Same state, different ends.
I get a lot of people say, "Where are you from? New York?" I'm like, no, not even close.
So while you take your sip there, Walter McCarty, Jen, I admire your dedication to your goal and your persistence to achieve it.
Thanks.
Jody, you're making a lot of comments here tonight. Love her accent. Well, again, it's cool to hear the stories about people who follow their dreams. Roxy Wasson. Oh, hey Andy, what's up? Stick Boy
Yep,
says, hey, what's up, Stick Boy? He left the sport, moved to Florida.
Wow.
he did.
Just enough.
Machinist.
Yeah, machinist. Phil Pot. Warren, have me a lesson on red and green snips before. Okay, what do that means? Missed
He
that one.
wanted me to teach him how to run. Oh, that was maybe my guy I helped. I showed him what red, green, what
Oh,
red.
Warren gave me a lesson on red and green snips.
Red
Okay,
snips
so-
cut
okay,
one way,
thank you.
green
Yeah.
cut the other.
Okay, got it.
If
Thank you,
you
I got
flip
it.
them upside down, a red can cut like a green if you turn it upside down.
Got it. I'll write that down. So you knew that?
Write that
First time I ever
You're
learned it.
never gonna use
Why
it.
do I lie?
Write it down,
Why
you'll
do
never
you-
use it.
Look it, you create cars, I
Like
create
me.
stories, okay?
Shorthand.
You use-
Yeah, I got one.
You use
I'm never gonna use yours.
Louis Martina, hey Tim. Louis is a drag racer up in Buffalo.
Okay.
And Karen Baldwin says, love her energy. There you go.
Yes.
Cool.
So now Infield Jen's going on, but you are still working for a race team.
Yeah, I'm still with Brian. Still
Okay.
working for Brian.
All right.
And where were we?
No, it's your story.
NASCAR had
Oh yeah,
just
so they.
let you
They give
become.
they give you some direction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
AKA, you're going to do what we want you to do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I did that, but I had my website up at that time, at least the first version of it, and I had to put a disclaimer on there and all that good stuff, and they helped me like write it, and so they were helpful as far as that goes, and I was like, I want to do things the right way. I didn't know what I was doing in the first place. I said I just got to go with it, so. That's what I did, and yeah. So now everything's good. We started over. Now I'm Infield Jen, and
Right. You still have that going.
Yep.
Still a viable thing.
Still
Here
Still
we go.
going?
Tom Beatty, our former #1 fan. Pay attention. Our former #1 fan says, Jen, if you tell people you know Warren and Tim, do doors open or close for you? One thing I always admired about you, you were always there. You were always on the scene. You were always walking and talking to people. You made yourself available, and you still do, your dedication and everything, and you love the sport, and you project it out to the people, and they don't have a choice but to be enthusiastic about what you're doing. That's
yeah.
it.
Try to make
So
it
I'll
fun.
say this. Well, I was in the garage, for
Fine, well done.
every years,
Yep.
and would see Jen. She was working
Working.
tires.
Not leaning on tires.
No, putting stuff together.
Well, see, when you work
helping.
with the Kozlowski, you're gonna work.
Yeah.
Right, so-
Like,
And I mean, this was other
So-
places you worked. I
Mhm.
know you've done tires. I think I've
Yep.
watched you decal cars.
Yep.
I know I've watched you set up the pits.
Yep.
I watched you yell at some guys who probably weren't working. I think.
Yep.
But yeah, it's you're not just you weren't just hanging out.
No,
So
no.
so what you started with Brian, well, we'll get that in, but it turned into you working on teams,
Yeah.
right? So you were also selling sponsorships.
Yep.
And you have your fan.
My
what is it?
fan sponsorship
Fan
program.
sponsor, which
Yep.
is real quick.
So I get to turn fans into sponsors. Their name goes on the car. They get to come down to the track. They get to be part of the team. Meet the driver, have lunch with us, do all the cool pre-race ceremony stuff. This is all pre-COVID.
Right, pre-COVID,
And I've done that for years, and I haven't had a single complaint. I mean, everybody loves it, and it's a lot of fun.
I mean, it costs, of course. Like, it's not like, hey,
Yeah.
just put my name in a hat.
right.
Okay, so
But it helps the teams get
Oh, sure.
get what they need, and
Yeah.
it
I mean,
lets them
I don't know how much
kind
it
of
is.
see a different side of the
I
sport.
don't know how much it is. You have to tell me, but if people want to, they can contact you. But
Mhm.
every little dollar counts for
Absolutely,
a small
yeah.
budget team, and if it's
Yep.
500, that's a tire.
Yep.
If you get four of those, that's a
if
set
you
of
get
tires.
in with the smaller team, you can walk around and meet the other teams.
Other team,
Yeah.
now you're in like, hey,
Exactly. Come on down. I'll show you how to meet your favorite driver and
Exactly.
do
Perfect.
all
Do
that
a
fun
picture.
stuff. So.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
so Infield
awesome.
Jen, then you got still a Facebook page, or now it's a website too?
Everything: website, Facebook, Twitter,
Twitter,
Instagram. I mean, it's all over the place.
Perfect.
Okay.
So
You're not doing podcasts, are you?
I used to have my own radio show, but
I mean, you are right now.
I am right
Right.
now. But I
She
used
could.
to do
I just don't
one.
want her to be competition.
Oh no,
with you.
we're lost. She'll plow us over. And by the way, folks, we're going to tell you for the 58,000th time, we are free on YouTube. Subscribe. We're up to 350 subscribers. We were killing it. It's
Yeah,
like-
we only need 100,000 more.
That's right. So it's less
Quit
than
our job.
It's less than one a day. We've been on the air for 365 days. Yeah, we need a little help. And also, YouTube, also Twitter, Facebook, TikTok,
Yep.
and our merchandise. We have
I
that
got
for
it
sale.
out here.
Have it for sale. PubTableRacers.com. It's readily available.
Do you have any
Yeah.
merchandise you'd like to put on our table tonight?
I don't have it. Well,
You didn't
I'm
bring it?
just wearing it.
Infield Jen. Perfect. All right,
This
so
is a
we got
family show. Don't take that shirt off.
Sorry. Hi, Marilyn.
Okay.
You're fine.
I went south a
the
little
personal
bit. I always-
story.
You're
Your employment, your with Brian
Mm-hmm.
turned into
A little more than employment.
little employment. So what's that on your hand right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you guys became involved, or
Yeah,
became involved,
about
and
it was April 12th, 2011.
not that you keep the dates.
Yeah.
So almost like a year and
4 months.
a half, you came back. No,
That's why you didn't
no,
want
you
to.
came
That's
down
why you
April,
didn't want to come in.
April 2nd.
I came down April 2nd, 2010,
And then you,
and then a year later,
you
you
became.
yeah.
So now you guys are engaged.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And he works where?
Right now he's working at, well, he has quite a few jobs right now,
Oh, okay.
which is good. He's the 41 truck team crew chief.
Right.
He's spotting now for several Xfinity teams.
Good.
You know, if he could pick up
Yeah,
a
sure,
job.
yeah.
And he is also the part-time spotter for the 00 Cup team, which is who I work for full
Which I was
time
gonna say.
right now.
So,
Right.
and now you at StarCom Racing.
Yep.
And
Yep,
you've
love
been, is it your first or second?
It's my second year.
Second year. What do
Yeah.
you do for them?
I'm a communication specialist. Kind of
Which
handle all the, I enter all the rosters and the guest lists and anything that has to go back and forth for NASCAR. Kind of make sure everybody has what they need at the
Right.
shop, and Quinn knows what he's got to do when he's at the track,
Mhm.
and everybody has what they need. So.
So it's the BS paperwork that nobody else wants to do.
Yep.
Alright.
But it's a lot of fun too.
Okay. In addition to all the things you've done, you've also carried gas,
Yep.
gas can back and forth.
Ran gas.
fuel.
Ran gas. That's it. Thank you.
I've handed the cans over the wall.
Catch
Oh.
wall.
I did the catch can. I went over the wall with the catch can in ARCA from 2012 to 15. That was
You
fun.
guys had that in
I
common?
love
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
I did it
I
one
love
race.
that.
you say anybody can do that. And I'm like, well, why are you paying these knuckleheads $350 a week for that?
I mean, I did it one race with Rich Fickle, but that's all right.
I've done pretty much almost everything with these cans.
Okay.
So
But you have taken on a new endeavor.
I have.
You a couple months ago, you
I
insisted that
have.
you.
I decided back in March that I wanted to get strong enough to go over the wall with the fuel can in the Cup Series. It's
So you
kind of
wanted
the
to-
new goal.
So would you be the gas? What would they put? Gas person? Gas woman?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just curious. Okay.
Gas Jen.
Gas. Oh, wow.
I like that.
Oh, I'm gonna choose it.
Yeah.
I love the branding.
Yep.
You marketing guru
Gas
there.
Jen.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. So
Nailed it.
Gas Jen.
So yeah, I got a personal trainer back in March. I work out like 3 times a week, like really heavy stuff, and I'm really starting to see a big difference now.
Mm-hmm.
And past few weeks, my guys would be like, "Do you want to gas the car?" This was in the garage, not going
Right,
over the wall.
right.
I'm not ready for that yet. But this past week in Michigan, I was like, "They're like, come on, Jen, you gonna gas it up?" And I was like,
But the car was in the garage.
"The car was in the garage in front of our hauler," and I was like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." So I run out there and I'm like, "All right." And Kip Childress was standing
Yep.
there.
From NASCAR.
Yep, he's the series director.
And he drives a pace car.
Yep, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm gonna fuel this car right now." He's like, "No, you're not." I was like, "Yeah, I am. Watch this."
you
That's what I told him. So yeah, we got the can. My guys kind of helped me like get it up because I'm still gotta learn the
They
technique.
propped it up for you.
Right. So once I got it up there, I was like, "Oh, okay," and I had heard, I had been practicing with an empty can, and that's pretty difficult to connect.
To plug in.
Because
Yeah.
it's-
There's
you don't
no
have the
weight
weight
there.
behind it,
Yeah,
right?
There's no weight there.
So I was like, all right. So my buddies would tell me, yeah, once the weight's in it, it'll be much easier.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how's it going to be easier when it weighs
Because
100 pounds?
use
But
the weight of the can. To
right.
engage.
And that's what they said, but
Yep.
it didn't compute until you actually do it. And then once I had it in my hand, I was like, oh, yeah, I get it now. Like, ding,
Right.
ding, ding, the
Okay.
light bulbs went off. And I plugged that can in on the first shot, and I was like, I'm doing it,
Drain.
I'm screaming. And I'm like, I'm doing it. And it emptied out real quick, and I pulled it out, and I was like, give me another one. I want to do that again. And so they give me another can, and I did it again, and I was like, oh my God, I can do it. I can do it. I can hold it, So I was like, that's what I was waiting for. So yeah, yesterday in the gym, I killed it. I was like, I want to get more strong.
So then you
I can
worked
do it.
harder, right?
Even harder because you got
Yep,
an
yep,
inclination of
yep.
what it'd be like.
Yeah.
So if you did that, if you went over the wall on a cup stop,
Right.
guessing you would be the very first female
to do that in the Cup Series.
Gas
Yeah.
the car in the Cup Series.
And that would be like the ultimate goal. Because I mean, I got to keep
Right.
challenging myself. Like, I don't really
Sure.
want to go anywhere anytime soon
You
or
need
do
to
anything
get
else.
written down
So,
somewhere.
you
Well,
know.
it's- I mean, Infield
Right.
Jen, you know,
Right.
Brooklyn down here.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
I don't
It'll
care
be
about
on
that. I
some
just-
show.
it's like a
It'll
personal
be on
goal.
some show on TV 20 years from now. The first woman to gas a car. you
But I'm
know?
not doing it for that.
I know.
don't
Well,
do it
no.
Because I want to challenge myself and see if I could do it. Can I do
Right,
this?
because
you know?
you have challenged yourself for
I know.
over a decade now,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm gonna get down there. You got down there.
Plus.
I'm gonna get a job with the team. I got a job with the team.
Right.
I'm gonna learn how to write press release. But you've done all that.
Yeah.
I mean, run tires. I mean, the pictures we put up, you had the head sock on
Right.
because you had to run the gas,
Yeah.
and I'm sure when people saw you online, they're like, "What's she doing?" And you had
Yeah.
your uniform on.
Yeah.
'Cause you have
Plus,
to wear the full
you
uniform.
do it for the love of the sport, not because you're a woman.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
You
right.
do it because you love this.
Right.
Just like the rest of us knuckleheads.
And a lot
we
of
love
a
it.
lot of the time it was I did it because I really had to. Brian's like, we got nobody else. You got to
well,
do
that
this. I'm
too.
like,
Well,
oh,
there
okay.
you go.
Yeah.
There's also that, you
That's
know.
perfect,
So okay, I'll do this. You know.
If any of you have any questions, now's the time to ask them. We've listened to Jen's great story, so if you have a question, fire away. We have a little bit of time here, and
I didn't know
Infield
that
Jen.
was Brian in my driveway.
Oh yeah.
So,
Drop me off.
Oh yeah, because see,
So you want to talk about his little brother like that bad about him?
hey, I wasn't driving the car. I was just making an observation.
I stay out of all that. You know. It's so funny.
So Tom Bailey says, former #1 fan, guess I have to buy a new shirt. No, Tom, you buy two. Just kidding, Tom. You're good. We're just having fun. So yeah, you have set goals for yourself.
Yeah.
And you've achieved them. And I'm sure, I don't mean it's a bad way, but there's probably people like, what's she doing? Like, who is she? And she's around, and she's tall,
Right.
and she's beautiful, and she's from Brooklyn, and she's here, and she's always there. And there's people that in the media center, some of the PR people, and I've seen it, having been one, they're okay just sitting in the media center all day.
I don't even go.
They're
to
okay
meetings.
going.
I
They're,
really
they're
don't.
okay. They're okay going out to the hauler when maybe there was food or an appearance, but after that they just disappear. You have always been in the garage, stay in the garage,
Yeah.
accessible. People infield. Oh, Jen, they see you, and I've seen it. I'm like, that's pretty cool because
And this year's been kind of tough because, like, with the roster, it's been cut back so much.
Yeah.
So I'm not down as a mechanic. I'm actually down as admin right now.
But you were.
But I kind of have both.
But you weren't allowed for a while.
Right. I'm
Well, last
technically
year.
still. Yeah. Last year I couldn't do
Killed
anything
you,
really.
didn't it? Killed you.
It drove me nuts. Like how to
I
watch
know.
somebody else run fuel. I'm like, don't
Right.
touch my cans.
Yeah. Okay.
That's mine. You know. It's like
Right.
no. So I was like ah. But a couple weeks ago at Watkins Glen, one of my crew guys couldn't be there. And I actually went down as a mechanic, and I was able to run fuel in it. I was
Okay.
like, oh, finally.
Because-
Felt so good to be back, you know?
And it's not you. It's just the NASCAR codes they give
Yeah,
to people.
it's just
like,
the amount of
admin,
people that are allowed
so
to
if you're
do stuff.
allowed in as admin, you can't touch the car,
Can't touch
push the
the
car,
car,
work the car,
right.
blah blah. So, but if you went down as crew,
If I'm down on the road cut, then I
can
can
run,
run
right.
fuel and do pit support
And
and,
it-
push the car through tech and
and
all
it's
that
funny
stuff.
because they've known you for so
I
long
know.
doing all this. Now one little
I know.
connotation because
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
code
but that's how the roster is now
Yeah.
too.
Sure.
You know, like so I go to Pocono with Penske and Wood Brothers, and I'm only allowed to work on the 21. I'm on the Wood Brothers roster.
Right.
Right,
So
so
I'm
you
only
can't
allowed.
touch
I can't.
anything else, right.
You know, the Penske cars got damaged, and I gotta just look. I can't even. I can't even help.
Yeah.
Really?
You know, I can
No.
give
Seriously,
advice.
you can't?
It's that strict.
I can't
yeah.
touch.
Who monitors that? Is there someone that goes, oh, he's a 21 guy?
NASCAR, and so by us, Travis Geisler, because he wouldn't want to take the penalty
Right.
of me even of chancing it.
Right.
Right.
So he's like, no, Warren, I'm like, can I help you? He's like, no, you can't.
Wow.
Right.
You can give us advice.
Right,
You
right.
know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
So it
I
drives
mean,
me crazy sometimes.
It
A lot
does.
of the times.
It
You
drives
know,
me crazy too.
I'm
but-
not used to just going there and standing there like a.
Right.
Yeah, you're a worker.
Like-
And you
I
feel
know.
helpless not being able to
I know,
help.
I know.
You know.
Mhm. Yeah, it's tough.
So
So
when
I'm hoping next year it's
Yeah.
it's going to be a little better because we will have practice every race. We will have qualifying.
next year?
Yep.
Really?
Because it's the new car, so we
Oh,
have,
that's right. So
we have to
Yeah.
have practice. We have to have
Glad you're here to
qualifying.
inform me what's going on
And we
next year.
have to,
Yeah.
you know, we'll do the race.
Right.
But I'm hoping that they at least let us bring at least one, maybe two more people
Right.
on the road crew roster.
So
that would be
you know,
perfect.
FYI, I heard some places we might have a practice day, and then you're still going to just have a Sunday only. Some places will have a practice qualifying.
Right.
You know, just like our normal used to be. But some of the tracks I heard didn't want all 3 of them days, and we might just we might have a practice. We might have a test day.
Right.
Oh,
We might have a test day on a Monday, and you'll race.
Monday?
And you're going to race on a Sunday.
how would we get there on Monday if we're leaving a track?
It would be a test team going and doing it.
Oh, testing. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Smaller teams don't have test teams. I have one team.
You're it.
That's it.
So tell
We ain't
us
doing that.
tell us about StarCom. I mean, you're a one-car
Yeah.
team, right?
Yep.
Derek
We are the
Coates,
little
the general manager?
engine that could, and we're still plugging away, doing the best we can, and we do a lot with what we have.
Right.
It's definitely something to be proud of. I love working for Derek and Alicia.
So Derek Coates,
Mhm.
1990 Daytona 500 winner.
champion. Yeah, absolutely.
And so he's the general manager. He does not own the team. People think he does.
Correct.
He's the general manager.
Correct. Right.
He's a racer.
Yep.
What's it like working for a small team?
Great guy.
Yeah, great.
It's awesome because you get to wear so many hats, and
You're more involved.
yep.
Which I like.
Definitely. So I like that aspect of it, and I just hope that we get the chance to do it again next year. So far it's looking good.
When do you think you might be ready to jump over the wall?
Well,
How much more working out?
I'd give it a shot tomorrow if I could. I mean, I would
I
love
had
to
a
just
funny
say,
feeling to say that.
can I do it? Can I do it? But I would definitely want to be smart about it and be very, very prepared.
Maybe do it in a pit practice. somewhere.
Yeah, well, I've been speaking to some of the pit teams, the bigger guys,
Yeah.
and they have different programs, and there might be an all-female one coming out, and
Right.
if that's so, I'd like to check
Right.
that out.
Right.
But there's some other pit schools that said, hey, if you ever want to practice with us,
Right.
that's fine. So I kind of was like, that's really cool. But I told him, I said, let me just work out and get strong
Sure.
enough until
Right.
when I feel ready to do
Right.
it, then I'll come here and do it, because I'm not going to come here and make myself look
No,
You
I
know,
think
a lot of them,
and drop the can or something. Like, I would never do
sorry.
that.
a lot of them do it with water, so they can dump it out.
Yeah.
And water is heavier than fuel,
Mm.
so which is a good workout
right,
for you.
But it's good for the balance and
Right.
the balance.
Yeah, I mean, always if they say, well, we're only going to fill it up so it's the same weight as the fuel. Say no, fill it up so it's full,
Right.
and I'll take the overload of the water.
Sure.
Right.
That's what I used
Right,
to
we have a question from our number one fan,
Sure.
Tom.
Tom B. Jen, how long did it take you to really feel like you are a part of the NASCAR family / sport? And I get where he's going, but it takes a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just because you're walking around the garage with a job doesn't mean you feel
Right.
part of it.
Honestly, the first when I was in that media center when Brian made the 500, that day was special. That was like
Sure.
literally was the best day of my
Yeah.
life. There was nothing that even comes close. And just to have everybody have them come over to me, it was like, oh my God. Like, I mean, Jeff Luck put my name in the USA
Yeah.
Today
Yeah.
newspaper.
Good.
Because
Because it was newsworthy.
but my name was in there, so I got to tell my dad, thank God he was still alive, he's on, Dad, go to the store,
get the newspaper.
buy the paper, don't call me, don't
Right.
open it, call me.
Don't beat
You
the
know.
dog with it.
Right.
My name's in there.
And I told him turn to this page, and when he found it, like he just went, I gotta go buy all the papers.
So
It was awesome.
I have a question.
But
This came
it
in.
was cool.
So all your friends and family back in Brooklyn, like,
They
What
thought
if-
I was crazy.
okay, that answers that question.
That they thought I was. They're like,
Mhm.
"How-
Sure, I get it.
What,
I get it. You went through it. I went through it. They're like,
So I'll say it like this, and she nailed it on the head. It's as soon as you get on a team, as
Yep.
soon as you make, it doesn't matter what team it is.
What
It doesn't
level,
matter what level it is. As soon as you get on a team and you get a couple of shirts that
Right.
say whatever racing,
Right.
You're
You're official.
You're official. You've made it.
You made it. Yeah. Yeah.
Not the building the pit box team. You're on a team. You're working on a car.
Right.
That's when you made it, or when you're riding for
NASCAR.com.
for you it was maybe a little different deal.
NASCAR.com, yeah.
Right,
When I put that shirt on the first time, I go,
You're-
holy crap,
I
go
made
for
it, right?
Yeah, I walked in, I was like, geez, I'm a writer for NASCAR.com.
Right.
No
Boom.
clue what I was doing. I mean, I was looking at my earlier work and go, that's terrible. But you know what? I was thrust into it.
Right.
And it took me probably a couple months. Like you,
Yeah.
like I moved down here and boom, I was like, I didn't work my way into it. It was just, here you go.
Yeah.
And they threw me in the garage and off we went. And it worked out okay, but it is a time, it is a bunch of time to, acclimate where you feel like you're part of it,
Yeah. Learn. How learn the ropes.
It's
you know?
fun though.
And it was cool because I
Gives
thought
you a
working.
story, right?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I thought that, working with Brian, I'd be like, I could ease my way into this and learn the ropes. Well, the
No.
first day on the job, boom, he made the biggest race in the world. It's like,
Right.
oh no, I don't
No.
know what to do.
At a
Oh,
place,
no.
at a place you've been dying to go
Go
to,
to, yeah.
your dream to go to,
Yeah.
and your first time there.
I called everybody in my family. I said, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to Daytona. Nobody's dying. Nobody's having heart attacks. And if you do, don't call me until it's over. I did. I told them. I was like, don't you dare call me. I'm
Better get on
going.
life support.
Plug her in until
Monday.
Till Monday. Monday. Beautiful.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
I'm telling you right now, this is happening for me. I'm going to Daytona.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're gonna wrap up here. I've always admired your determination.
Thank you.
I've admired how you have a unique approach to everything, and you set a goal, and you didn't back down. You let nobody talk you out of it. You didn't listen to anybody, but you listened to here and here.
Yeah. Thank God it worked out.
Love your story.
That's a great story.
Thank you.
Great story.
Thanks for
Cheers.
being on.
Thanks.
Should we say it
Thanks,
anyhow?
Jen. Yep.
Should we say it?
Say it.
Good night, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
There we go. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Catch you next week.
Good night, Brad.
Wow. Hey, another great show.
Great
Thank
show.
you so much, everybody,
Yep.
for tuning
Enjoyed
in.
it.
We appreciate it. We do this every Tuesday night, and Warren, I think the guests we've had have been fantastic.
Phenomenal.
And the people that are following us, we appreciate it. We're reaching 42,000 people a month. Can you believe that? And we appreciate you watching. And
Right. We're having fun. Hope everybody else enjoys it.
that's it. And it's just a fun show. Bucket of beer. Guys sitting around talking about it. So keep tuning in. We appreciate it. Check out our store and everything. But we appreciate you people, and we will see you next week. Right, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right. See you next week.